What's up everybody, Anime X here, and in this video I will be ranking the Akatsuki based on their power shown in the series. If this video sounds interesting to you, consider subscribing and hitting the bell to be alerted to all of my content. And since this video doesn't require much explanation, let's jump right into it. And so, without further ado, let's get started. So to start off this list, at the very bottom we have Zetsu. I have Zetsu placed here because he has very minuscule amount of feats in the series, and he acts more like a supporting character and intel gathering character more than an offensive force of the Akatsuki. One showing of him, not being very offensive is when he was taking over Obito's body and was scared that if he left, Kakashi and Minato would kill him quickly. Besides this, I don't have too much to say about Zetsu, considering that he doesn't display many physical or any other type of feats in the series. So, at the second to bottom on this list, we have Hidan, which is probably no surprise to anyone that has watched Naruto Shippuden, because Hidan has very little feats. The only thing going for him is his immortality, which even that is quite limited since he can die of starvation. Hidan's only victory in the series was against Asuma and some other Jonin level fighters, such as Shikamaru and Choji, and I guess you can count as a Jonin level fighter if you want, which in that fight he almost lost if it weren't for his ability to reflect damage unknown to his opponents. And he had the help of Kakuzu to reattach his head after he was decapitated. Without Kakuzu, Hidan would have lost. He wouldn't have been killed, but he would have been decapitated, losing him the fight. This is shown quite clearly when Shikamaru learns of this ability. He's able to beat Hidan pretty quickly, and he's able to trick Hidan quite easily, and is able to kill Hidan with prep time. This means that Hidan was losing to Chunin level fighters, and granted, Shikamaru with prep time is very powerful, but to be taken out and tricked so easily by Shikamaru just shows how weak and kind of dumb Hidan truly is. So next on this list, I have Konan placed here, which may upset or confuse a lot of people that think she's stronger, especially when considering that she's fought Obito, or at least rivals his power, since she did force him to use Izanagi in their fight. And while this is true, she did force Obito to use Izanagi, she is not at Obito level, especially without prep time. The only reason that she did so well against Obito to begin with is because Obito severely underestimated Konan's power. And although she was quite low on this list, she does have some good feats like tanking a point-blank fireball jutsu from Sage Jiraiya, which is an impressive feat in and of itself. This, along with her power to completely encase people in paper to suffocate them, the ability to manipulate paper and make deadly weapons out of it, show why Konan is no slouch. Next on this list is Deidara, which kind of pains me to say, since Deidara is a pretty cool character, and I like him a lot. I would consider him one of the coolest Akatsuki members and has a pretty cool character, and he was especially powerful. One of his first showings of the series is taking down Gaara as Kazekage and making an explosion that would have taken out the entire village without Gaara's protection. Speaking of explosions, to quickly go over some of his explosive attacks, he has C1, which allows him to make clay constructs that explode on contact, C2, with which he can make a clay dragon that can fly and shoot out its own clay bombs, C3, a huge explosion similar to the one that he used against Gaara, and C4, which he can shoot microscopic bombs that which attack you at the cellular level. It is shown that these would be able to disintegrate anybody, kind of bypassing their ability. And C0, an explosion that is stated to rival Bijou Blast, and that looks like a nuclear blast based on its size. Not only does Deidara have Jubi levels of attack potency, he also has incredible durability, which is displayed when he gets both of his arms destroyed, falls in his own landmines, and doesn't seem to be phased at all by any of this. Even with all of this though, Deidara still has to be this low ranking, just due to how crazy powerful everyone is on this list. Now, next on the Akatsuki list, we have Sasori, which may come as a surprise to you that he is higher on this list than Deidara, or maybe you disagree that Deidara should be more powerful than him because he has Jubi level of attack potencies. Well, Deidara himself literally says that Sasori is more powerful, and considering how prideful he is, blowing himself up in order to not lose to Itachi's little brother, it would make sense that he would be more powerful, and Deidara probably wouldn't lie about something like this. A lot of people like to say that he is fodder because he lost to Sakura and Granny Chiyo, which is only part of the story. They forget that Sakura made an antidote to the poison, and it was specifically made to counteract that. On top of that, Granny Chiyo knew everything about Sasori, and she possessed some of the most powerful puppets ever made, which by themselves could take out an entire castle. Some of Sasori's feats would be with his 100 puppets being able to take down an entire country. And even if you took away the 100 puppet jutsu, you would still have a 9 immortal puppet body that had access to the third Kazekage's Iron Sand jutsu, which is extremely powerful. If that wasn't enough, when he was revived with an Edo Tensei, he was able to attach puppet strings to real people and control them. So to recap Sasori's power, he has an instant-kill poison, an extremely powerful puppet body that can reassemble itself if broken, which already makes him a better version of Hidan, had access to the third Kazekage as a puppet, and possessed the ability to use the Iron Sand Jutsu. And he also had 100 puppets that were able to take down an entire country, which, by the way, is much larger than a village, and would be more powerful and a better feat than Deidara, making Judy Blast. But that just speaks how powerful Sasori truly is. Right above Sasori, we have Kakuzu, and you may either be very confused, saying that he's fodder, he's weak, and he should be lower than Deidara and Sasori, and while he doesn't have nearly as many feats of them, the feats that he does have blow everyone before him out of the water. For example, when we first see him, he is shown punching down this gigantic metal gate quite casually that looks like it could be about 20 feet tall. After that, him and Hidan fight Matatabi, the Two Tails, and it swings its paw at both of them, and Kakuzu, he catches a two-tailed full power swing without any signs of him struggling. Right after this, Matatabi fires a Bijou Bomb point blank at Kakuzu, and he takes this without a scratch on him. To compare this to another Akatsuki member, Deidara's most powerful explosion, Z0, is directly compared to a Jubi Blast in power and in size, and Kakuzu tanked a Jubi Blast. I think you can see the comparison here. Kakuzu can only be killed if you destroy all 5 of his hearts, which makes him nigh immortal. Another extremely impressive feat of his is fighting the first Hokage and not dying. Kakuzu fought Hashirama, the same Hashirama who tamed all of the tailed beasts and beat Madara. Kakuzu also fought him, and granted, he lost, but the fact that he wasn't killed instantly really shows how durable and powerful he is. Along with taking a Bijou Blast point blank, he also got hit with a Rasen Shuriken, an S-rank move that attacks the opponent on a cellular level, and a jutsu so powerful that Tsunade and medical ninjas said that it was too dangerous for Naruto to perform. That Rasen Shuriken, and Kakuzu wasn't obliterated, which once again speaks to his durability. In terms of moveset, Kakuzu can use all 5 nature releases, and has black tendrils which he can shoot out for an area of effect type of attack. His hearts can fly around and maneuver through the air easily, and he's also skilled enough in hand-to-hand combat to rival Kakashi in Taijutsu. And with all of these things put together, that makes a very powerful Akatsuki member, and it makes it much easier to understand why he is this high on my Akatsuki rankings. So as a kind of honorable mentions, I'm going to put Orochimaru where I think he would rank up in the Akatsuki ranking, because he wasn't part of the Akatsuki for most of the series, so I won't go into scaling his power into too much detail, but this is about where I place him on the list, just because he was able to fight off a Four Tails Naruto while he wasn't nearly at his full power because his arms weren't of much use to him, and he was only threatened by the Bijou Bomb that Naruto would have shot out. Again, I feel like this would surpass Kakuzu's feat of being able to tank a Two Tails Bijou Bomb, considering that Four Tails would be much, much stronger than Matatabi. And now, with the next 4 members of the Akatsuki, they just get stupidly strong, and with each being crazier than the last. So, ignoring Orochimaru now, let's just jump right into the top 4. At the 4th spot on the Akatsuki ranking, I have Kisame placed, an extremely powerful and durable fighter. So powerful, in fact, that with a 30% clone, he was able to incapacitate all of Team Guy and force Might Guy himself to use a 6th gate just to fight and beat him. The reason I say he clearly surpasses Orochimaru is because while Orochimaru was able to fight a Four Tails Naruto, Kisame was able to completely thrash and just bully B, the perfect Jinchuriki that was able to, use all of the 8 Tails power. He also has one of the most powerful weapons in the series, Samehada, which gives him the ability to steal chakra. Kisame was so durable, in fact, that he could take a kick from KCM Naruto that couldn't control his strength, so it's likely that KCM Naruto hit him with his full power, or something near them. Kisame was also powerful enough and durable enough to take a lariat from B without, dying. Kisame was also so powerful that without Samehada, he was able to give 7th Gate Guy a decent fight. The same 7th Gate Guy that can, with a air punch, shake an island. He was also able to take Hiradora without dying. Even after this, Kisame was so powerful and had so much durability that he could break out of a wood-style chakra suppression restraints, and was able to put everyone in a water barrier jutsu so powerful that even KCM 1 Naruto couldn't easily escape. Now, while on the topic of water jutsu, let's talk about this. Yes, this oceanic bubble that Kisame can just make. Now, this alone would be impressive, but not only is it big, but it can move with Kisame, making his opponents so they can't escape, because most likely Kisame is faster in the water than his opponents, and if he's moving following after you, that means you're basically gonna drown in it, and Kisame has already won the fight. If that doesn't convince you somehow, I mean, he's called the tailed beast without a tail for a reason. Placed third on this list, I have Itachi Uchiha, which may be confusing for all of you that think he should be at the number 2 or number 1 spot, because everyone knows how overpowered Itachi is. I mean, he has Amaterasu, an inextinguishable black flame, Tsukiyomi, an unstoppable genjutsu, in which he freely controls time and space, Susanoo, which is the ultimate defense and offense, the Yadamir, which is a shield that can reflect all physical attacks, and the Tosuka blade, which can seal anyone upon contact, and on top of that, he has shadow clones that can explode. He's fast enough to react to Kirin while half dead, and is fast enough to fight on par with KCM1 Naruto while having a full-on conversation with him, which is pretty impressive to say the least. I'm not going to scale Itachi as in depth as I would with the other Akatsuki members, simply because I recently did a video scaling him, which I'll link in case that any of you want a more in-depth analysis on Itachi's power. But now I think it's time to move on to the next Akatsuki member. Now, at the number 2 spot, we have Nagato. Now, when scaling Nagato, the most important feats of his come from when he's an Edo Tensei, but let's first talk about what he did when he was alive. One of the main things he did is kill Sage Jiraiya, whose power is, quite great. He's a powerhouse by himself, and the Diva Path of Pain was able to create a planetary devastation so strong and large that was even able to hold a 8-Tails Naruto for a short period of time. And this was just after a fight with 6 Tails, and without much trouble. And all of this was with his power lesson, because the Paths of Pain are much weaker than single-body Nagato himself. Before I go over some Edo Tensei feats, let's just briefly review his moveset. He is able to snatch souls, summon the King of Hell to insta-kill you or bring back anyone from their injury. He can manifest extra mechanical arms, shoot missiles and lasers, absorb ninjutsu and chakra, summon these giant Sage Toad level animals, revive multiple people within an area using Rin Rebirth, summon the Geto Mazo, the Husk of the Ten Tails, and he has Almighty Push, Universal Pull, and Planetary Devastation. All of these moves are probably powerful enough to one-shot a village, except Universal Pull, but Almighty Push and, Chibaku Tensei would definitely one-shot a village. This moveset alone would make him in the higher tiers of the ranking, but he also has feats of finessing and just obliterating KCM1 Naruto and B, 2 of the most powerful Jinchuriki at the time. And when he was revived, he was able to create a planetary devastation so powerful that it took the combined forces of Itachi, B, and Naruto just to destroy it. And it also took all 3 of these characters just to beat Nagato. So, now that I've talked about how powerful he is, now the question is, which Akatsuki member is more powerful than him? The answer to my previous question would be Obito. And the main reason that I think Obito is stronger than everyone else in the Akatsuki is, in a word, Kamui. Think about it. Obito has reaction speed similar to the 4th Raikage Minato, even when he was just a 14-year-old. In fact, he was so strong that Minato was convinced that the only person that was able to put Kurama, the Nine-Tails, under Genjutsu and slip past the village's defenses and almost one-shot Minato would be Madara. Now, imagine anyone in the Akatsuki trying to launch a jutsu that would be powerful enough to kill Obito, like Amaterasu or Planetary Devastation. Guess what Obito can do? Kamui. If you get close and he makes contact, Kamui. If you want to pat him on the shoulder, Kamui. But there is a trend here. Unless you have speed comparable to Minato, or you have, Kamui, it's almost impossible to land a hit on Obito. And even if you did hit Obito, it's not like he's a pushover. He's had Tailed Beast ripped out of him, used Rin Rebirth, and got stabbed through the chest. All these things are things that should kill you alone, much less one after another. And on top of that, he attempted to sync his Kamui with Kage's dimension and didn't die from exhaustion, although he'd done all of this stuff and fight in a war previously. Another supporting scene that could also be used is when Kabuto attempts to blackmail Obito into joining forces with him, and he revives the entire Akatsuki, and Obito shows no signs of distress or worry about possibly having to fight the entire revived Akatsuki. And it is only once he shows Madara's body that he decides to join Kabuto. So this scene could indicate that Obito would be able to take out the entire Akatsuki by himself, although this was Obito with the Rinnegan, so he would be slightly more powerful. But it's this in tangent with his ability to evade almost everything that anybody else in the Akatsuki could throw at him with Kamui that places him at the top of the Akatsuki list. I would just like to thank everyone that made it this far in the video, and if you guys disagreed with me on anything, please make sure to comment what it is and why down below. And if you want me to do another ranking video, make sure that this gets, let's say 20 likes. Let's get a big like goal, 20 likes, guys. And if this video gets a lot of support, a lot of comments, a lot of interaction and stuff like that, I'll make sure to do another ranking video, maybe on the Phantom Troop or something like that. And if you guys like my content, you know, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing and hitting the bell to be alerted to all of my content. And if you want to interact with me more on a personal level, or, you know, just interact with my channel more, links to my Discord is down below. And as always, guys, this is Anime X, signing off.